The wholesome marriage speedrun arc has finally reached its conclusion, and we're already starting the next arc with some crazy red flags. Mushoku Tensei is finally back after the excruciating week-long break, and I deadass felt like a crack addict going through withdrawals while waiting 2 whole weeks for this episode. The slice of life tag is being replaced with the adventure starting this episode, and we already have some wild moments, desert monsters, and possibly the most hilarious Mushoku Tensei moment in this episode. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and these are my blind thoughts as an anime only for season 2 episode 19 of Mushoku Tensei. And without wasting any more time, let's dive in. The episode starts with Rudy talking about the journey with Alina Lees, and I really liked that Rudy straight up said that he's not gonna help her with the curse, and telling her to have a proper talk with Cliff and discuss things about their future. Even though it's a small scene, it still shows that Rudy is actively trying to change and be a better person. Then we move on to the talk with Nanahoshi. Her face made me worried that she was about to have another breakdown, but thankfully she did not. And she tells Rudy about the teleportation circle from Shariar to Bagaret. I was wondering if the journey was really going to be 2 whole years and he's gonna miss the birth of his son, but it finally makes sense. I was thinking that the birth was probably too big of a moment for him to miss, but it does make sense that he's gonna be present there. And this also confirms that Man God was indeed trying to manipulate Rudy by telling him that he's gonna miss the birth, despite there being a way where he can reach Bagaret early. At this point, I'm like 99% sure that Man God is gonna screw over Rudy at some point in the future. Now we have Rudy saying his goodbyes to everyone, and this entire section was just filled with red flags. First, the in-universe red flag by saying that he's gonna name the baby before leaving. Then Cliff saying that he's gonna marry Alina Lees after she comes back. And finally with Alina Lees saying that nothing is gonna go wrong. Yeah, I'm sure that absolutely nothing will go wrong at all. And after a tearful goodbye with Sylphie, we finally start the journey. Some of the backgrounds at the forest looked very beautiful, and I honestly wish we could have got to see more. The time lag during the teleportation is very interesting though. I think this also explains why Nanahoshi came into this world 10 years later than Rudy, despite both of them getting isekai'd at the same time. I really wonder just who exactly summoned her into this world and for what reason. I believe Nanahoshi has already said that she wasn't summoned by Orsted, so I'm assuming that the summoner is gonna be a whole new character who we haven't seen before. And speaking of Orsted, Rudius finding his coat at the ruins has to be the funniest moment in the entire show. It's just so hilarious to imagine Orsted having multiple copies of his coat and using the ruins as a closet. But if he only has a single coat, this could mean that he's currently in Bagaret right now and took it off to travel through the hot desert. We could potentially be meeting Daddy Orsted very soon in the desert, but for now I'm just gonna imagine that he simply has multiple copies of the same coat. Then we move on to the succubus scene. This succubus was single-handedly about to ruin Rudy's whole marriage life, but thankfully Alina Lees took care of it very quickly and bonked Rudius. Also, her smug face while teasing Rudy was priceless. Aside from that, we have some more fights in this episode, and I actually have a hot take about this. I would have preferred for them to skip most of these fights and use the time to flesh out some other things, especially because the animation during these fights are not that great. The animation isn't bad at all, but it's a very noticeable downgrade compared to season 1. In season 1, even the non-important monster fights had jaw-dropping animation, which made them really hyped to watch, and that's why I would have preferred for them to skip the non-important fights in this episode to focus their time on the important fights. And I honestly would have preferred to see more of the desert city rather than some more monster fights, to be honest. But that's just my personal opinion on the matter. Let me know how you guys feel about this. And the final thing I want to talk about is Alina Lee's backstory with Paul. I really wonder just what exactly happened between them that she doesn't even want to forgive Paul. I'm assuming it was something very serious for her to act this way towards him. I am really hoping that we get some kind of flashback very soon. And then the episode ends with them finally arriving at Rapan, which looks really cool with the skull on top. And that is pretty much all I have to say for this week's episode of Mushoku Tensei. Even though I have some complaints, it's another great episode as usual. And I am expecting things are about to pick up starting from the next episode based on the title. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, comment down below how you felt about the episode, and subscribe to the channel for more Mushoku Tensei and just anime content in general.